Hello, and welcome to another public class from hollytreeenglish.com. My name is Holly, or Teacher Holly, and I want to welcome you to this public conversation class. This is session 1 of 3 sessions. Each class happens 3 times for different time zones. If you are subscribed to the email list, please check your spam folder if you do not see the link to join. Sometimes they go to the junk folder, so check your junk folder because I sent the email and you can join us and practice your English conversation. And we already have 2 students. Welcome, Marco and Ken.
Yes, hello. How are you?
Hi.
Hi, fine. How are you guys today?
Yeah, I'm fine. Can you hear me clearly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, that's fine.
Can you hear me? Both of you?
Oh yeah, I can hear
Yes.
you all the way from Italy. You are screaming very loudly.
Oh, wow. Wow, because it's quite strange, but I hear your voice like it were so far, not very loud.
Let me check the settings. Thank you for telling me. I wonder if the settings.
I hear your voice, but very low,
Distant.
low voice. Even your Haka, but
Oh, really?
I
Oh my
can hear
gosh.
you at the hand.
Okay, Logitech.
Better than nothing.
Logitech.
I don't know if it's my mic or not.
Yeah, possibly because I just checked my settings. So, Ken,
Yeah.
can you hear me well?
For me, it's
Okay.
okay.
Let's go on in this way for me. I'd be very attentive on your words.
Oh,
Sorry.
poor Marco. Okay, well,
Okay.
we will see if we can make it happen. If you need to excuse yourself and I was checking my mic. If you need to excuse yourself and change devices or something, that's fine. Not a problem.
No, but I think for me it's better to go on in this way because if I log out, I'm not so sure if I could get in again because my laptop it's an older one and it's still a long time to refresh. So better
I
than nothing.
see. I see.
Okay,
Okay.
please go on.
I boost my mic. How about the volume now?
Sounds
boost.
beautiful to me.
Okay, thank you.
So Ken, you had shared some feedback with me that the link to join was a little difficult to find at first. Was it better this time?
Maybe system is same. So maybe at the beginning I was, I confused. In the past, I don't know whether it is possible now. But before the Google changed its system, if I click the attend button to the class, that appear my Google Calendar and
Uh-huh.
Google Calendars. And some people make a class, copy and paste the link of the class in Google Calendar. That how can I say page, uh, and that's why I confused at the beginnings because
I
there's
know, I
no.
know. Well, Google, yeah, they did change its system, so I need to check and see because right now, if I have to create two separate events. I have to create a Google event and then the YouTube thing if I want you to see the schedule. And But if you create a Google event, you have to invite, and I don't know who wants to join each session, so it's like, why, but one thing I need to check into is if maybe I can take the email list and quickly add all of the emails to the event, and so all of you receive like an invitation, and then you will still receive the link email, but it will be a little easier. But I don't know if it's possible. I don't want to copy paste like 60 emails. That would drive me
Exactly.
crazy.
That's tiresome. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, but if there is a way for me to copy all of them at once and just send a group invitation, that might be better.
Maybe the system change of Google, confuses me and yeah, some other students, I guess, probably because I cannot find such kind of schedule kind of thing. So to not to remember this class, I add this class time on Google Calendar by myself. Yeah.
Exactly. That was my hope, is that if I give the time in GMT,
Yeah.
because if you have like an iPhone or something, maybe even Android, often it will give it will create like a button if there is a date and time, and you can create an event on your calendar and it changes to your time zone. But I don't know.
Thank
Marco, did you have any problems?
No, now fortunately I got what was the problem. My speakers were too low, so I turned up the volume, and now I can hear you both perfectly. So for me,
Mhm.
now it's perfect.
Yeah,
But
actually, yeah, we were talking about the link. We were talking about joining class, if there were any problems
yes,
with that.
yeah. Okay. No, just I've I given a look. I taken a look on your email, because at the beginning I checked on Google Plus in the past, but
Hmm.
I didn't find any link. So I fortunately I recalled that you yesterday wrote me an email where you explained how to do, and yeah, I found the link. I am here, but maybe I can think many other guys that they want to join with your classes might have some problems because it's quite different, compared to the past. It's not so immediately grasped for everyone, I think.
I know, and I did the best I could, but I wasn't sure
Oh yes,
how to do it better.
it's not certainly it's not your blame. Certainly,
Yeah, it's very frustrating, and the part that allows me to schedule the YouTube video, it doesn't work very well with my my specialized software, and so the best thing I could think of, either A, I have to sit down with someone and schedule all of them, which is possible. But then, I have to find someone's help when they have time to help, and so it's a little less independent, which, whatever. And so I thought, okay, I will just do it this way and then keep trying to find a
yeah.
better solution.
To be honest, even I don't know why Google Plus has changed, the way to join in any hangout. Really, I can't understand why. probably they will have some commercial or different thinking about the future of Google Plus. I don't know, but I think in the past worked out better, in my opinion, in my humble opinion.
I agree. In my humble opinion, I'm in agreement with you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, but the
I am happy.
subject of our class is not Google, it's about
Yeah.
books and reading. So we probably ought to go ahead and start class. And then if someone does choose to join us, they will understand what we are talking about.
Yes.
Oh, brother. Okay. So we had some basic questions to think about to give us ideas of what to talk about. And the first one, if I can find my description here. Bingo. Okay. So the first question basically is, do you like to read books? Some people don't.
Please,
And
Aka first.
yeah, okay.
Thank you. I used to like reading book, but because of the internet is much more attractive to me now. So still I like reading book, but I often stop reading book and I just go to the internet.
Mm,
So that's a problem recently after the kind of internet started.
hmm.
So
Do you
and
read more
so
ebooks or?
no, because I just have a PC, so PC is not eye friendly to read. I cannot read uh, long, article or long story on PC. I don't know. It's up to my feeling, or actually, it's bad for my eyes. But I heard Kindle is much eye friendlier. Also, nowadays, I often go to IKEA. IKEA has a cheap, how can I say, a soda fountain. I can drink coffee, black tea, soft drinks, juice, orange juice or whatever I want in a cheap price. Also, IKEA offer the sofa to us. So today I stay there to drinking coffee and juice, maybe almost 2 hours to read, to concentrate on reading because there's not, I don't have a PC outside, so I cannot technically connect to PC. So
Hmm.
I could focus on reading there.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to get away from all of the distraction and confusion and everything. And then, Marco.
Yes. Of course, it's impossible to disagree with Aka opinion. Uh, but not because I consider him a friend, but because I fully agree with his statement. Yes, even we are immersed, no, in our modern technologies, no, iPad, iPhone, laptop, many other new item. I think flipping, through a book is also still now in these times a great way to escape, from your reality, from your daily basis, from your routine, and fleeing with your imagination, in other world. Um, Maybe it could be a dreamland, or or a fair land, or a make believe place where nothing exists in the reality. But in my opinion, it's likewise important than the reality, because you need, or at least for me, it's so. Having your space, having your room, in your mind, take your mind off, and reading a book is the perfect way. For example, with your I live in Italy. I'm an Italian. Of course, the best way to read a book is having a cappuccino close to me in my table, and reading in a peacefully ambience my favorite book. And then yes, after maybe half an hour, 1 hour, whatever time you need, going back to reality. But that precise time for me is a fantastic way to escape with my mind. So I advise everyone to keep on reading books.
Yeah, I
That's my
agree.
opinion.
And we have just had a new student join us,
Yes,
Mariam.
great.
Yes. Hello.
Hi, Mariam. So, Mariam, we
Yeah.
have Aka with us, Aka Ken from Japan, and Marco from Italy. And
Ciao.
Hi.
yeah, Mariam is, I think you are new to this kind of class, yes?
Yes, it's my first time.
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome. So we are
Thank you.
answering one of the questions in the description, and the question is, do you like to read?
Um,
Like books, stories, nonfiction.
no, story no. I prefer like uh look, see movie related to this book. I don't like reading, you know.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I prefer know like the end of the book, you know, because when people read book, they like I think I just want to look movie related to this like book that know what's happened finally, you know.
You don't
Yeah,
like to wait for the ending.
exactly.
I
Yes.
see. I see. Okay. Okay. So for people like me and Aka, waiting for the ending, it's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, yes. But sometimes I read the, how can I say in English, after the story was over, some article, one article added to explain the book, or to, how can I say I'm not sure it's in an English book, but
Like
in
a
Japanese,
review
a review, yes, or
talks
critics.
about, yeah, the things that were good about the book and things that maybe weren't so good.
Maybe it's not the kind of criticism usually, because to promote book, sometimes translator of the book, or the editor of the book, uh,
Ah,
write a small article after the novel or story, content of book,
summary.
whatever. A summary. Yeah, maybe. Sometimes I read summary at the beginning, and then I started reading the actual story or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Usually, the summaries from the end of the book don't tell the
Mhm.
they don't tell tak, the ending.
Yeah,
Sometimes I have the word in my brain and it doesn't want to come out of my mouth.
because some people dislike as spoiling,
hmm hmm
Yeah,
Yeah.
they never ever said ending. Yeah.
But
So,
Mariam,
okay,
yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, Aka. So when you read the summary of the book, is it
Mhm.
interesting for you continue reading? You actually know the end of the book.
Actually, in the
Is it?
summary, usually they don't spoil such kind of storyline. They just, how can I say, mention about the book or the background of the book or something like that. Not directly talking about the story.
Okay.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's in English books we have it all the time. It's like a summary and some questions like can she find the answer or something like that. So and we have another student with us, Santosh. Hello.
Hi, hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, man. And you?
Not bad. Busy as usual.
Okay.
So we are talking about books and reading. Do you like to read?
Yes, I like read.
hmm
I like
Um,
so much read.
mhm. What kind of books do you like to read? Like stories or biographies?
I like stories.
hmm Me too. I have to say, I like stories a lot, and now because I have a business, I also read nonfiction. I read books about business and about teaching.
Okay.
Okay, and we are going to the next question. Okay, so the next question is, do you read in English? And we will go back to Aka.
Sometimes, if the content is really interesting, because to read English takes much more effort or takes much more time than Japanese reading for me. So I found the Time magazines yesterday because I found an interesting article there. But even though it is interesting, I forgot the content. Yes, troll, the internet troll, right? It's a very timely issue. Many people suffer from that or get trouble about that, and they explain the reason why troll happened, what's happened actually, or the individual sites most troll happen, or background of how actual people they interview some actual people trolling people, or how to prevent or how to deal with the problem or something like that. That was a very interesting article. So I had the motivation to read even though it is written in English. Yes.
I would be interested to read that article, actually. If you can, you have added me on Google Plus, so if you can send it to me, I would
Okay.
appreciate it. Or to my email, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And Mariam, do you read English books?
Not books, but I read about news or some new technology. It's kind of there is some application called Flipboard.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and I actually every day I read this. Um, some news or maybe even some research for food.
Good idea.
Uh, yes. So yeah, I read in English, and it's helped me like teach new vocabulary, learn new vocabulary, and it's fun.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I think it's a good way to learn vocabulary, especially.
Yeah.
Santosh, do you read English?
Yes, ma'am. I read English regularly. The Times of India in newspaper and also comics as well. So much because uh, that's mean my increase my vocabulary and fluency. So I will regular practice. So I like English. So I daily read, like, listen. Everybody is developing my English, so I like it.
Very cool. And for everyone, I have a tip, a little suggestion. Sometimes it doesn't work for everyone, but for some people, if they want to get a little extra practice with pronunciation, speaking, or speaking, when you read English, try to read with your voice, with your mouth, not only in your mind. And this can help you develop your mouth muscles to pronounce English better. And if you are not sure how to pronounce words that you read, you can use something like Google Translate, which has the function to speak a word. And there is a website called Really Learn English. And reallylearnenglish.com, and they have some very nice spelling lessons that talk about spelling and pronunciation. Ah, Marco's back.
Yeah, sorry, but my computer, as I said, I told you before, is quite
It,
broken.
it got sick. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Fortunately, I am a nurse. I repaired it.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice. So we are answering the question we were talking about if you like to read, if you read English.
Is, is it my turn to
Yep,
answer? Ah, okay.
it's your turn.
Yeah, I was late. Okay. Yes, my answer is, of course, is positive, and I love reading book in English, and my current book is one that is related with my. I just told you in the past favorite city in England where I love to go time to time, Sheffield, and the book is maybe you all know the Full Monty. Uh, is a famous book, but I think is likewise famous the movie that was made out from this novel, no? And this book revolves around a group of men that in Sheffield. They were unemployed by the local economical crisis about the steel industries, because in Sheffield there were lots and lots of steel industries, and they decide to invent a new job by performing like strippers man, you know,
Oh
and
no.
yeah, it's a very
Okay.
famous plot.
Excuse me, Marco.
No, please.
I need to stop you because
Okay.
I'm trying to make sure some of our students who have had less speaking time, I want to make sure everyone gets close to the same
Yes, yes,
amount because
yes.
it's,
You're right.
thank you. So the question I want to hear from Mariam again because I'm very curious. You are, I think, the one person in the group who doesn't really like to read books. It's okay. It's fine. It's, it's your personality. It's fine. But I'm.
I don't like some mm, I don't say that I don't like reading, I don't like read the book.
Mhm.
So I like read some news, so something on English, but not book.
Uh-huh. I see. So not really like stories, you mean?
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. And what makes the movie more fun? Why is the movie more fun?
Why movies more fun than book?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because I told you that I can realize like faster what will be happen, and like I will know the end of the movie much faster than some book. For instance, if a book has 700 pages, you know, it's
Mhm.
uh, not interesting.
I love long stories like that. Um
I just read one time book. It calls Rebecca. It's some romance,
mhm.
like novel. Yeah, I read it.
Okay, I think I know what story you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, really?
Mhm. Yes. So I want to ask a different question, and again, to give more speaking time to some people, I want to change our order a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I will go with Santosh. When you read English and when you read, what is your native language?
So, my native language is Marathi.
Marathi. Okay. When you read in Marathi and when you read English, is it different things or the same thing? For example, do you read stories in English and only news in Marathi, or?
So actually, madam, is very differ. English or Marathi is very differ. So I think I not translate Marathi to English, but I understand what is the meaning of these words, and then I give the some information and notes I write down, and I just try to speak in English.
Yes, I mean, I'm trying to think a different way to ask the question. Do you read the same kind of things, the same kind of things like news, magazines, stories in
Yeah.
English and Marathi, or do you maybe read only stories in Marathi and only news in English?
No, no, both way. I read
Uh,
both way, Marathi as well as English,
yeah, great. Okay.
both way.
Um, and we'll go back to Ken.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
do you read different things in English than you do in Japanese?
You mean different thing, thought?
Yeah, like different, the word we use is genre. It
Hmm?
means
Yeah, I
um,
know general.
a
Yeah,
kind of thing.
right. So, do you ask if my genre changes according to the language?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah, my favorite genre doesn't change even language is not matter. Maybe my preferences matter.
Uh-huh, very cool. Uh-huh.
But it happened to actually, sorry, I changed my opinion a bit. Some subjects are very difficult to read in English, you know, like old Shakespeare or such old English type
Oh
or
gosh, yes.
a lot of jargons of big words in a story. Definitely, yeah, it's not a
Mhm.
preference. Yeah, but I don't know whether it is called genre or something. But yeah. I avoid such story reading in English.
Mhm. Yeah, some things are I can understand are more difficult to read in English.
Mhm. Right.
Okay, Marco.
Yes, I am here. And like the previous guys, uh, I love reading books in English, and at the same time, I love being kept up to date with news in English. And about that, I have my device some apps like the Guardian or the Star, that there are newspaper from England, and
Mhm.
not because I want to repeat, but I love being involved in what happened in Sheffield. So I have a special link to BBC Sheffield, and not every day, but often I listen to BBC Sheffield. So uh, I am updated on what happened in Sheffield too, and I think it's a good way to learn their accent, to learn how they speak about some topics.
Mhm.
So reading a newspaper, reading books, listening to BBC radio or other found in English is a fantastic way. For me, it's a very interesting way to be updated and also to learn and to revise words and sentences in English.
Yeah, yeah. And the main question is though, when you want to read in Italian or you want to read in English, are they different kinds of things? I can't remember a specific student, but I'm thinking if some of my students, they, for example, might prefer to read stories in English only.
No, for me,
Uh,
in my situation, in my case, I like reading both of the sources, books in English and the newspaper, because I think it's likewise important to be involved in the daily happenings in the UK or even in the USA or whenever the country where is spoken English language. The books where, just I said earlier, your fantasy can be increased or flee in a fair land, or also in the reality, in the current situation. I think it's important. In Italian, I read, of course, local newspaper, and also I follow the news on TV. But I also do the same with English. Every day, I think it's important. Not for many hours, but maybe for an half an hour or for an hour a day.
Hmm. I understand what you're saying. Uh, Siras, hello.
Thanks.
Hello, Teacher Holly. How are you? And how are you all?
We're fine. Do you, I think you have two windows open or something. Someone has two windows open because I can hear myself.
No, I just opened one window on my mobile phone.
Huh.
Okay, so what's topic today?
The topic is books. Have you
Okay,
got a headset?
sorry.
Have you got headphones?
Yeah, I have my earphone.
Are you using them?
Yeah, right now I'm using my earphone.
Okay. Very strange. Can everyone hear me twice?
Yes, 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 man.
Yes, it's
Hmm.
not
Yeah, but
problem.
I
You
cannot
were
hear you twice.
Yeah. Okay. I am going to ask you, Siras, when you are not speaking, can you please mute yourself?
Okay,
Very strange.
may I mute now?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, let's test. Yep. Okay. Echo is gone. Yay. Uh,
Yeah, it stopped.
double meaning, ma'am. Your voice is double meaning.
Double meaning. That's funny. Yeah, double something. I don't know. Um,
Double sound is listening.
but Seros, you asked what the topic is. The topic today is books and reading, and we are talking about if we like to read and if we like to read in English. So if you want to unmute yourself and tell us, do you like to read and do you read in English?
Yeah, I usually read English and I usually read some inspirational books, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I feel very depressed or I feel bad about this world, so I mostly read books and I try to find what is the solution of the problem and how we can get rid of that problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I I always feel better after reading any kind of books.
Yeah, very, very interesting to read. I also read when I have problems. Um, when I have problems or when I am very stressed, I like to read just to so I don't have to think about
Yeah,
things.
yeah. Books are the best friend and best solution for all human being. We must read books. We must try to read some inspirational or some good books. like the great philosopher, like the great poet, great writer, and that is very beneficial for us. And because that uh, that that makes our mind and our thinking very wide and spared. And after reading reading the book, we I feel that my problem is very small.
Mm-hmm.
So
That makes sense.
yeah, so I found that I can handle my conditions cause of the true knowledge and true experiences by the poet or by the writer. So we must take benefit from their experiences on the books and in
Mm-hmm.
our practical life. So I really feel better after reading the books.
Mm-hmm. And Ken, you have been very patiently waiting. Why do you
Mhm.
read?
Why do I read?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm curious about, new knowledge, new experience, or new something. You know, in the story, some people think, it's a fake. Actually, it's fake, but sometimes novels not made us more detail of human mind or more detail of more than reality. I cannot explain so well, but sometimes I can experience different life in novel or different story. Also, documentary is also is interesting. I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of different type of maybe what's happening in the world now in the past or such kind of things very interesting. So maybe through reading we can not only we can get a knowledge but also we can experience something in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that's why I'm reading.
Mm-hmm. And Santosh, why do you read?
Actually, I read, ma'am, moral stories and little poem because his words are using very simple and understand to me myself. So, first of all, my English is not perfect at the moment. So I use that type of some small things. So
Mm-hmm.
little sentences uses in newspapers and comics also
Yeah.
and novel.
Mm-hmm. Comics. Very
I
funny.
have little because their words is very simple. So
Uh-huh.
that's why I use this.
Right, right. That's fine. It's comics. It's interesting. I have a student who likes comics, and when we first started classes, he had to create a short comic. We created the story together, and he had to draw the comic, and he had to use his English to describe it to me.
Yeah,
So,
same like same like my story.
yeah, yeah. So, one way you can practice, all of you, if you have books with pictures or pictures in the newspaper, practice making descriptions of them in English because we use different tenses in descriptions. Things like he's writing, he's if it's news, maybe he is falling off of a bridge, um, which is terrible, but a lot of the news is bad. So, okay, so everyone has been very patient, and want to say thank you. So now I want to change things just a little and make it a little more exciting. So I want to give everyone a chance to ask someone in the class a question related to books and reading, maybe generally reading. So let's go with Marco because he has been waiting. So ask someone in the class a question about books and reading.
Okay, Holly, thanks um, for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I wanted to thank you and Santosh for the great piece of advice about comics because so far I never thought about using it in my learning journey. So thanks again. About the question, I would like to ask Haka, what kind of genres do you prefer reading when you choose a book? That's my
Yes,
question for you.
yes, I studied literature, and after that, actually, I avoid reading literature novel. For studying, it's hard. We should try to analyze always. It's it's not. I cannot enjoy novels now.
Oh no.
So I prefer nowadays articles, newspaper, and for example, Time Magazine article. I told you before, and or documentary. I like documentary and Steve Jobs autobiographies, not autobiographies, biographies. Interesting. And recently, Bruce Springsteen published his autobiography. I think it sounds interesting to me because he sing 4 hours on the stage, sing and shout on the stage 4 hours. But he said he's suffering a depression. And one comment about his depression is very interesting to me on the news article. He said once feeling of that is almost like two Bruce are in a car, same car. One Bruce is very depressive, and another Bruce is not like that. So, which Bruce you take is actual Bruce, because in order touring or recording, he needs so much energy. I think also he's a sensitive guy because he's a rock and roller, but his lyrics very kind of sensitive or touches our souls. So maybe burnt out or his sensitiveness is maybe might cause his depression, but he coexists depression for a long time. Nobody knows that until now when he published this autobiography. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Yeah, that is
Thanks.
something to know.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
You're welcome.
Okay, so Ken, it's your turn to pick someone to ask a question.
Okay. Yeah, I maybe Malcolm, and I took a Shakespeare class before because my literature study, and it is said a lot of Shakespeare works original has a quarry. Quarry means original script. Uh, it actually there was an Italian story. And how do you feel about that? You know, do you feel such Italian feeling of Shakespeare story or something like that? Whatever you want, or another your book preference to what's happening in Italy. That's my question.
Yes, thanks, Haka, for asking that kind of question. Um, about Shakespeare, there is a famous not book or comedy from Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, and Othello. They are they are set in my country in Verona and in Venice. And I think because Italy at the time where we consider Shakespeare were living uh, was a very interesting country where there were a lot of involving situation, and in the medieval, of course, Italy was one of the country where I think happened many things like Renaissance or new things about art and also about many other stories. And I think Shakespeare choose my country because from what we know, he traveled to Italy, and I believe that he invented part of his famous plot by attending many people and living in this kind of places.
But the question actually, I think what Ken is hoping you will tell him is, do you believe that the story is reflective, or does the story show truly how Italians would react in this situation? Is it, or did he put English culture in Italy?
No, of course. For example, about Romeo and Juliet, 99% is completely invented, but in some way, like many other epic stories, I think there were something true because at those time, there were lots of very mighty family. They fought between us, and then, for example, not many marriage uh, were permitted between, for example, a man and a woman. They were in different family, and maybe they were in contrast between them. So I think Shakespeare extracted his stories, his plot between something that it were really true. I think in Italy at those time, like in Venice, for example, Otello, he was a jealous man from his gorgeous wife, and I think it happened. And Shakespeare, nothing else, extracted, made his plot, his novel from some reality, I think.
Okay,
Yes, thank you very
thanks
much.
I
for.
don't know if I answered Aka question, but
Yeah, it
some
was
way.
helpful. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
we are. I'm going to move on to Seroz. If you want to ask someone in the class a question, please do not ask a very deep question because we are short on time.
Okay, I just wanna ask one simple question about from you.
Oh, brother, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, this is about the books. So sometimes I feel that how we can choose a good book. There is a great saying in English that don't judge a book by his cover. So if we are not supposed to judge a book by its cover, then why do books have covers?
um, I will try to answer that. I think books have covers to get your its attention from the beginning. So they make you they want you to desire to look at the book, desire to read it. But if you don't want to judge the book by its cover, then you should also read the summary at the back. You should open the pages. Do not, so it means do not only look at the cover, it means also look inside.
Okay.
All right. So now it's my turn to choose someone to ask a question, and Mariam has joined us
Yes.
again and has been very patient. So I will ask you,
Yeah, sure.
since you like to choose movies based on books, can you tell us one of your favorites?
Favorite movie?
Movies based on a book.
Uh, let me think. Uh, I can't. I don't remember.
You can't
Mm.
remember what is one of your favorites?
My favorite movie is about. Uh, I forget the name of the person who is famous, and he got Nobels for his movie. Maybe someone can help me. The man who uh, his body doesn't move, he cannot control it, and
Oh, Stephen Hawking.
exactly. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Yeah. I saw the movie. I don't remember the name of the movie, but it was when he. It was about biology. His biology. It was really interesting for me. Yeah.
hmm hmm And he's a
Mm,
physics expert as well. So,
yeah.
yeah, he's a very famous scientist. And, like, it's almost impossible or it's very rare for someone with his disease to live that long.
Yes, it's really hard. I really mm, not appreciate. Uh, how I have to say, like, I really proud of him. How I can have
Inspired, maybe?
I can inspired. Yeah.
Okay. All right, my dear. So it is now your turn to choose someone in the class to ask a question about books and reading. Oh, and Santosh is back. Hello.
Nobody wants to ask question.
No, no, it's you. You will ask someone a question. Choose
Uh,
someone in the class and
I.
uh-huh.
Oh, um, okay. I don't know who. Okay, Marco, tell me please your favorite book.
But thanks for asking. But I think it would be fair if someone else could answer your question because I spoke a lot earlier. Thanks, however.
Mhm.
Mm,
Mhm. What about Santosh? I think he's waiting to speak.
okay.
My questions is that eh, ho-
What is
uh,
your favorite? We're asking you to tell us what is your favorite book.
yeah, my favorite books is Gitanjali. You know, this is a Indian writer Rabindranath Tagore in first Nobel Prize in literature.
Mm,
So uh, this is the story about the man. So I like this Gitanjali books.
Nice, and it's famous.
Ah, yes, he's first Nobel Prize winner for
Wow, nice,
literature.
nice.
very cool. Okay, Santosh, now can you please choose someone to ask?
My questions is all of you. So how to start in speaking English? How to start?
May I give the answer?
Yep.
You know, the speaking any language is not the problem. The problem, I think, Santosh is left.
Oh no.
Now he's also joined this call. Hello,
Oh.
Santosh. Are you listening me?
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, is a
Okay.
range is problem. Range is problem. That's why I disconnect the call.
Mm.
Okay. No problem. You know the. You know uh, what I was saying that any language is not the problem. The first of all we must focus and we must do work on our philosophy.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. So if we try to improve our philosophy, so we can do anything in our life, and it is only the matter of language. Even we can invent anything, and we can do better in our life about any field. So what I feel that uh, it is only about our philosophy. We must improve our philosophy toward the positivity and toward the learning new things in our lives, and we must we must see our diseases of attitude. So that is also the problem to do anything new, and these are some basic tips to speaking any language that practice. Without practice we cannot do anything about any field. So the practice makes a man perfect, and perfect practice is very needful for speaking English. And if you really wanna improve your speaking, so first of all you should not watch your sentences, or you should not watch your grammar, but first of all you make a habit to speaking English. So if you have a good habit to speaking English, so after that you can resolve your errors in your language.
Mhm.
Okay.
Ken,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Me? Sorry.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Uh, how to start English learning? Uh, in my case, maybe as I told you before, I had a American relative, so they could switch languages. They are bilingual at that time. That's cool to me. After that, I began to be crazy about rock and roll, so I wanted to know the meaning of the lyrics. And yeah, long story, but maybe every people can find interesting point of learning English. That's maybe one knack of keep learning or keep motivating for learning English or to start learning English, in my opinion.
So find an interest, something to motivate you.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay, Marco.
Yes, of course, uh, the people spoke earlier said good things, and I totally agree with them. In my case, at the very beginning, I was at a very low level, but not because I consider myself at the high level. I still have a lot of roads to walk, uh, considering my goal, my target. But learning a language, I think it's like a never-ending story. You have to stay motivated. You have to stay uh, concentrated on your goals, on your target, and probably in your long path, you will meet some ups, some downs. It's like happened to me. One day I feel happy because I think I have a good skill in English. The following day, I feel depressed because I found some difficulties. I found some problems, and I believe that I never be able to speak a confident English or a good English. So it's like I love thinking that learning English is like a roller coaster. Someday you are up, and the following day you are down. But I
And
never
some
give
days
up.
you're
I never
upside
give
down.
up. Yeah, upside down also. Good. But my last advice is never give up. Never give up because it's you want to learn. You are the right willing. You have to go ahead and never stop you.
Hmm. Mariam.
Yes.
And so the question I guess is how do you start learning English? You want some advice on how to start learning English, speaking it.
Yeah, when I started just learning English, I asked my some friends that let's just talk on English, in English. And yeah, like previous guy, it's important you have motivation. Yeah, you have to know your goal, that you can achieve that. And like, yeah, for speaking, like just start talk with your friends, with your family. Like me, I was talking in English with my brother yesterday. And it's kind of practice. And what else? uh, Maybe that's it.
Okay. And so I will go last because he said all of us need to answer. Um, and I have to say, my answer is not only because I am a teacher, but also because of some things that I have noticed. Um, you don't always need a teacher to give you the knowledge. You can find the knowledge, but it's a good idea if you can have a teacher, maybe it's me, maybe it's another person, doesn't matter. But a teacher gives structure because if you just go to an internet site like reallylearnenglish.com. It's a good site. Englishpage.com. It's a good site. Very good site. But they have so many things. And so you can think, oh my gosh, where do I start? And you just start and you just go through. And some of the sites, they have levels, and that's good. That's a good way if you cannot get a teacher. But a teacher helps to provide the person for practice. A teacher helps to provide the guide for structure. A teacher can also help to give the motivation sometimes. Um, and so a teacher can help you discover the way to learn that is right for you. Um, for example, um, there are so many ways to learn a language, and there are so many arguments. This one is correct. No, this one is correct. And I think the reason is because there are so many different learners. So it is important to find the way that is right for you. Some people learn really well by reading grammar articles, reading a lot of things about English. Some people have to listen to lectures, videos about English. Some people absolutely have to speak from the beginning, because if they do not do it, they forget it. But you always must speak sometime. Maybe you read first and then you speak, or maybe you speak first, but sometime in the process you must speak. We say in English, this is non-negotiable. There is no escape.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct that if we are trying to speak English, so that is very good for us. I mean, our tongue is also working toward speaking. If we have some practice about speaking, or we are reading some paragraphs of English, so that will also good for speaking. So we must try to speak. Even we should take any paragraph, and we must speak only not for 1 or 2 hours. Only 5 or 10 minutes is sufficient for speaking English. So that works on our tongue, and that works on our English.
Mhm. It's true. Some people only need a little bit and then a little bit every day. For some people, it's better a long time, once a week. It has to be the way that is right for you. Um, Unfortunately, this is a very interesting conversation, but I know for our two Indian friends, it's very late at night, and also for our Japanese friend as well. So I am going to say that it is now time to end the class. We were over time, so thank you everyone for staying. Um, and I am going to say thank you for coming. It was a pleasure. And uh, to people who watched the video, please share it, subscribe to the email list that you will find on Google Plus if you would like to join us next time. And I'll see everyone later.
Thank you very
See you.
much.
Okay,
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very much.